already drawn, so they're just gonna have to do that shit over. I think it was a scheme so they could have a rematch anyway. Yeah, I mean, like, that was the whole thing, so they could do the rematch anyway. Cause you can't, you gotta beat the champ.
The rematch anyway, cause you can't like you got to beat the champ if you want. The rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach is officially happening right after the New York State Athletic Commission issued its final ruling on their controversial fight. The boxing world has been set on fire with debates, and fans are divided over whether justice was truly served.
The mental breakdown of Tank, like, again, if you got that elite level why you know what you saw. He was intimidated by Roach, and it was like baffling to see. Why was he moving? Because to me, he was intimidated by Roach.
The New York SAC just decided to uphold the original result of a majority draw, despite admitting that referee Steve Willis made errors in the 9th round. Willis started a count, but bizarrely stopped midway, allowing Davis to return to his corner where his team illegally wiped his face before the round continued. That alone should have been a disqualification, yet Davis walked away with his undefeated record intact. The commission acknowledged that the correct call would have been to rule it a knockdown, but justified its decision by saying the referee's discretion is final.
Pass me the mic, man. These boys fought almost a week ago. It ain't been a week yet. But Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, man. It was a draw. But Davis is talking about fighting again in May. Davis, I don't think you want.
Many fans and fighters now feel that Roach was robbed of what could have been the biggest victory of his career. Even Canelo Alvarez didn't hold back, saying, "He take a knee, you need to lose like 10-8 that round at least, and plus the corner go up and put a towel in his face. That's disqualification for sure." I'm talking about the rules. Canelo's words just reflect what many already believe, that Davis got preferential treatment and was protected by officials who were hesitant to stain his record.
He take a knee. You need to lose like 10-8 that round at least, no? And plus the corner go up and put a towel in the face. That's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but it's not.
Roach himself took to social media to express his frustration, but remained composed. "Look, man, I'm going to tell y'all straight up, I ain't sue nobody. My team submitted an appeal on my behalf. What does it look like not having a team that doesn't pull that trigger on some S that they know was wrong? They stood up for me, so all that lawsuit is y'all can put to rest." He posted on X. He then made it clear that he wasn't expecting a reversal of the decision, but he knows the world saw him win. "Everyone knows I won the fight, and I'm satisfied with that."
Fighter, but knowing the corner too. He did tell me, he said he probably gonna come out a little harder the next round. They probably told him something. And then I guess when you go back and watch it, they did give him a little.
Part 2 on the way, and just like that, the rematch has now been set in motion. The WBA wasted no time and ordered an immediate rematch, which Davis surprisingly welcomed. He claimed he'd be ready as early as May. But let's be honest, does he really want this fight again? The way he looked in the ring, gasped, and struggling against Roach's pressure tells a different story. Boxing politics are in full effect here. Davis keeping his undefeated record intact despite a controversial fight benefits promoters, networks and sanctioning bodies who profit from his status. Imagine the damage a loss to Roach would have done to the financial machine behind Davis. Ticket sales, pay-per-view numbers, and big money fights would all take a hit. So did the New York SAC protect Davis because they believed in the referee's decision, or was it about keeping a cash cow from taking an L? That's the real question.
Nah, to be honest, I've really made it competitive, for real, to be honest. But for sure, Lamont's a great fighter. He got the skills, like I said before. He got punching power. It was a learned lesson, shout out to Lamont.
Roach knows what happened that night, and so does Davis. No matter how much Davis tries to play it cool, deep down, he knows he was inches away from his first loss, and now he has no choice but to do it all over again. Roach, on the other hand, has nothing to lose and everything to gain if he fights the same way, but applies even more pressure. Davis might not be able to escape this time.
Then one. So that's why I'm yelling at the referee, like, keep counting, like, you tripping, keep counting. That's a knockdown. Because if y'all didn't notice, he started the count. He started the count.
He did.
Cut it. And then he
And let's talk about Steve Willis, the referee at the center of this storm. This is the same guy who has built a reputation for making dramatic facial expressions during fights, but now people are questioning his judgment. How do you start a knockdown count stop midway, and then act like it never happened? And what was going through his head when he let Davis's corner illegally wipe his face? If Willis made these decisions out of incompetence, he shouldn't be officiating high-stakes fights. But if there was another reason, a deeper, more intentional motive than boxing, has a much bigger problem than just a bad call. Was he
using the ring to set me up with certain shots or anything like that?
Davis, of course, remains defiant. His camp insists that he was never hurt, that he didn't deserve to lose a point, and that Roach just wasn't good enough to beat him decisively, but the footage says otherwise. The knee touched the ground, the count started, the illegal corner assistance happened, and yet Davis still walked away with his record untouched. How much more protection does he need? The rematch is set to be explosive. Roach now has an even bigger chip on his shoulder. He's not just fighting to win a title, he's fighting against a system that he feels screwed him over. Davis, on the other hand, has the weight of proving that he can actually beat Roach clean without any controversy.
People are saying that Lamont caught him with a good, left, and then, that's why Tank went ahead and took a knee, because he was just trying to spare some time. When I really got a chance to look at it, he really rolled that punch, and if you can see his brain.
Fans are already split on what to expect. Some say Davis will come in more aggressive and put Roach away early to silence the doubters. Others believe Roach has cracked the code and will apply even more pressure to expose Davis's weaknesses. However, some of the pros are still siding with Tank, calling it just a bad night, and Jiren Boots Andis is leading the line, while the entire boxing world erupted over the controversial draw between John Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. Andis has kept cool. He didn't buy into the outrage, the conspiracy theories, or the idea that Davis got away with something. Instead, he gave credit where he felt it was due. Both fighters put on a great performance.
He told him and really take it from him, and I felt as though that Lamont did a great job at that, and he was trying to catch and counter him and things like that. But I don't know. I think he caught Tank off guard a little bit, maybe, but and the Tank wasn't really focused in the corner. He was arguing with Calvin or one of them. I don't know. It's a lot of things. We don't know what was going on in camp,
In his eyes, the draw wasn't a robbery. It was a great fight, and is said, and that was the simplest way to put it, he had Davis edging at 115-113. But he wasn't mad at the official decision either. That's a rare take in a sport where every close fight turns into a full-blown controversy. Most fighters, trainers, and fans were split into two extreme camps. Either Roach was robbed or Davis got unfairly criticized, but Andis, he sat.
3 people in the world that I think that could beat Tank. That would be Devin, that would be Shakur, and Tank Davis himself.
You got the last one right. That's the only person that can beat me. Gervonta Davis. That's the only person. Them niggas cannot touch me at all. They all been in the ring with me. They all been in the ring, and I cracked both of them.